Good evening, everyone. My name is Edgar, and this is Mystcon. Welcome back, my vicious viewers. Prepare yourself for the next enthralling installment. We've been scouring, as we often do, for interesting things to share with you. And as we seek and seek and seek, we find the things that make you freak. And so let's begin. For our first story, The Girl in the Cabin, posted by Wretched Macabre. For 3 days she laid there, trapped underneath the weight of her father. The creatures had come in the late evening, after all the chores were done, and she and her father were getting ready for supper. There were 2 of them, almost wolf-like in appearance, but walked on their hind legs. If they had crashed through the door or window, her father may have had time to arm himself. But he did not see the handle turn or the door slowly open, and the girl was much too frightened to warn him. All he had time to do was to huddle over his only child and hope the creatures would be content with whatever they had planned for him. The men arrived on the 3rd day after neither the girl or her father had joined the services at church. Suspecting foul play or a possible animal attack, they came armed. Upon arriving at the small cabin, everything seemed to be normal. The 3 men grabbed their rifles and proceeded towards the house cautiously. The porch creaked as they climbed the steps, and as the girl heard this, she began to cry. The men, dashing through the door, almost could not make out the little girl under the ravaged remains of her father. After checking inside of the cabin, they set down their weapons to attend to the girl. As they lifted her father off of her, they began to ask the girl questions as to what could have possibly mutilated a large man so easily. However, the girl was still too frightened, too tired, or too weak to put together meaningful words. She wanted to tell them about the creatures, and how they stood taller than men, and had fangs longer than a mountain lion. She wanted to tell them how her father screamed as they dug their claws into his back. She wanted to tell them that the pieces of flesh the creatures ripped from her father were quickly devoured by the wolf-like monsters. But most of all, she wanted to tell them that they were back, and quietly approaching behind the men that had now laid down their arms. The end. Well, it sounds like these gentlemen, in their attempt at kindness, have bitten off more than can be chewed. But indeed, they will be chewed. Now let's move on to our next story. This one is called Safe Haven and is posted by Drunk Till Tuesday. What a witty name. He peered around the cave, litter twisted into decorative sculptures, a bed made of feathers, moss, and leaves, the head of a dirty bear tucked under the remaining scraps of a blanket. I guess when you're lost in the woods for years, you learn how to make a home anywhere, the little girl said proudly. You did very well, the officer beamed. He was genuinely impressed she was even alive. An entire town had assumed she was dead after the first week. But it's not a safe haven, you know. Let's get you home. It's safer here than there, the girl said, slinking further into the cave. What do you mean, Kristen? He asked. Don't you miss hot showers and your comfy bed? No, she said from the shadows. Don't you miss your mom or your dad? No, she shrieked. He could tell something strange was going on. Well, don't you miss good food? What have you been eating out here, hon? She rushed at him from the shadows, then a spear clutched in her mud-crusted hands. A crazy grin on her innocent face. The people who come looking, silly! For our third and final story, we have The Universe Ended 211 Days Ago by Limitless. You probably don't know this, as it is extremely classified information. The universe has already ended, 211 days ago to be exact. You might be wondering how this is possible. We are still here, aren't we? Well, yes, we are. We got lucky. The end won't reach us for thousands of years. At least, NASA currently doesn't believe so. You see, 211 days ago, NASA detected a major fluctuation in radio waves coming from about 11 kilometers above Wyoming, with seemingly no source. After many days theorizing, they came to a terrifying conclusion. Millions of light years away, space tore open, causing the quantum fluctuations in certain areas of the universe to skyrocket. Using fancy equations as well as newly discovered fluctuations, they managed to find the distance of the source, about 23 million light years away. The rip is currently growing in every direction at about 340 times the speed of light. There is something that only I have yet to observe, though. I have decided not to share this, simply so people won't see how grim our situation really is. The quantum fluctuations are getting more powerful, not just bigger. You might not know what that signifies, but I do. The rip is expanding faster each day. The end. Well, was that a story? Or was that a statement? Perhaps, to be on the safe side, do everything you can to make sure your current moment is the best it can be. Enjoy your time, in case the rip from the edge of the universe makes its presence known. Those are stories I won't soon forget. Thanks for taking the time to hear them with me. If you like our content, why don't you do yourself a favor and click subscribe. Also, we really could use some input and some comments as well. Let us know how we're doing, if you like what we're doing, and what more you would like to see. Until next time, try to enjoy your sanity. My name is Edgar, and this is Mystcon. Have a creepy day.